Hey, everybody. This is Baron. We just saw each other at the LUX Talk event in Vancouver just a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to shoot a video. And my presentation, I kind of got on a soapbox and just following where the Lord was leading me. And I didn't really get to update you on what's going on in British Columbia as far as the work that we're doing. So this video is really just intended to update you on what's going on, where we're at on things like Bill 36, on things like the X-ray policy and so on and so forth. So I had a chance, luckily, to meet the attorney that we work with, Lee Turner, while I was there at Lux Talk. So I got about 4.5 hours to sit down with him and go over strategy on things and where we're at. So as you're aware, the amalgamated board is now in play. Our case that we had against the college on the X-ray policy has gone through a lot of variations simply because of how it was initially brought forward. Our organization took over this policy the beginning of 2023. And so it was already kind of in the works. And so one of the issues that we had with that was being able to supply new evidence, things that we were bringing to the table to explain why the college was wrong and how and building this policy. So all of that is done. We kind of dropped the original case because that restriction was there. And we've been formulating now a new judicial review that we plan to bring forward if the new college does not want to communicate, does not want to work with us. We're hoping now that it's a different group of people. The board is not entirely made up of chiros at this point. There's only 2 chiropractors. We're hoping that maybe there's a little bit more of a sympathetic ear that, of course, chiropractors should be able to take x-rays with all of the evidence that we have to support that. Another thing that had happened, which is maybe on first glance seems negative, but was actually positive. We had a chiropractor that was actually brought to discipline specifically on violating that x-ray policy of taking routine x-rays. He's an upper cervical chiropractor, so clearly that technique requires those films for them to be able to process a new patient. And so that's a good thing for our side because it proves that this policy is not appropriate if you're really going to start persecuting doctors when they're doing what's in the best interest of the patient. So our attorney is also representing that individual and representing the greater cause, and that we're going to kind of tag team both of those things. And so those are happening actually this week. Those are going into the new college to find out what they're going to do with it. There's a meeting that happens, or it's not really a hearing. It's more of a just an evaluation of the situation for the individual doctor, where we'll get to, again, supply the evidence. The doctor will get to explain his technique, why he takes the film, why he's doing what's in the best interest of the patients, and why he's intentionally violating a policy that should not exist. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening here in November, specifically on this issue. If none of this stuff goes the way we want, and they're still going to be staunch and just dig their feet in the ground, we will be bringing a judicial review, and everything that will happen in November will support us in what we're doing after that. So I've told everyone from the very beginning, I cannot control how long things take. All I can promise is we're not going to stop. We are not going to stop being a pain to these guys until they remove this policy. It is inappropriate. It shouldn't happen. It's the only place in the world that it exists, and it needs to be removed. And we will continue to spend the time, money, and energy that's necessary to make that happen. So kind of been a little slow from June when the amalgamation happened to now, but things are really starting to kick up at this point, and we should have some updates for you coming soon on that x-ray policy. Now, as far as Bill 36, obviously the election happened. The results are in. I know on first look, it looks like it wasn't an overall success, but in our opinion, it was. The NDP definitely was hit hard. There's more diversification within the legislature in British Columbia, which makes it harder for them to ramrod things through like they did with Bill 36. So now is a matter of continuing to work with our coalition and getting the information out and making it difficult. This is also going to be one of those things that if the college tries to enforce any of those policies, very similar to the x-ray issue, that makes it easier for us to go out against it because now they're violating rights. So we're still working with the coalition. We're still pushing forward. We're keeping an eye on that. But if you remember when I told you guys in the very, very beginning when we were fighting COVID requirements and things of that nature, that our strength is in numbers. Our strength is in a bunch of people being connected. Now, there's really three reasons why that strength exists. Number one, it means everyone's hearing the information the same way at the same time and staying plugged in. Ignorance and misinformation is one of the most powerful weapons that they will use against us to keep confusion and to keep control. One of the things we do is videos like this, making sure that we're emailing you regularly with information so that you are not ignorant about what's going on, that we reduce confusion because you're getting this information from one source all the time, and it's being hopefully delivered coherently and in a manner that you understand. The second thing that is important about this is the sheer numbers. When we need people to move, when we need you to do something, having the majority of the chiropractors in BC tied to our organization means we can move a lot of people very quickly. This was our success in Australia and New Zealand and in the United States when it came to COVID mandates. We were able to move a bunch of people at one time in one direction, and it becomes very difficult for the opposition to be able to beat us or get a step ahead of us when we're moving that many people at the same time. That has to happen in British Columbia. I need everybody on board so that we can move at the right time in the right way when the right thing is needed. And the third reason is the resources. Obviously, it's very expensive to do this. We hire attorneys and we pay them their asking rates. We don't look for deals. We don't ask for discounts because we want the best that they can provide. And so it's expensive to do the work that we do, but I don't want to keep going and asking for big donations. Nobody wants to do that. The people that pay are the people that always pay. What I'm looking for is to spread that out by having a large group of people, everyone doing a little bit. That's why we only ask for $33 a month. I think that converts to like $52 Canadian. That it's designed to spread the responsibility across everyone so that we can still do the work we need to do, but nobody that is individually is putting forth more effort than another, right? We don't want you to be the tip of the spear. I'm not asking you to go and fight these fights. We're happy to do it. But those three reasons, having the strength in numbers, having the ability and communication and everyone hearing things, not being ignorant and not being confused, moving people at the same time in the same manner, right when it needs to happen, and then the spreading of resources. Those are the three reasons that we ask for this to happen. Now, I hate asking for money. It's one of my least favorite things to do, but I'm not asking for me. I'm asking to be able to continue to do the work for you. Now, most of you watching this were at the event, obviously, but I'm asking you to share it with your colleagues and help us spread the word. If you are watching this and you're not a contributor, I would sure as heck love you to go to our website, defendchiropractic.org, and contribute now. Because we need it. We got a lot of work going on. We've paid a lot more money in Canada than we've pulled out of Canada. And it's about time that we start balancing that country to handle its own affairs. So if you can help me out, that'd be great. But I wanted to give you a little bit of detail because I didn't get it in my presentation, and I apologize for that. But hopefully this has helped. As always, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if there's anything that I'm missing, please don't hesitate to reach out, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. God bless you, and continue to go out and love and serve through this amazing profession. And together, we will make chiropractic the #1 healthcare choice in the world. All right, guys. God bless.